Hi all, Adi here from Haunts and Johns. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I've just done a detour because I saw a sign for a church. I'm in Twineham in deepest, darkest mid Sussex. I've just had a quick Google. It's a church that was built in 1516 under the reign of Henry VIII. It's a Grade 1 listed building and it was built just before the Reformation. So, shall we go and have an explore? This is interesting. The burial ground, bounded by 4 stones. Okay. Oh, I think it might be like there's one here. And I can see another one there. So I think it might be this raised bit here. It was acquired by the Religious Society of Friends of the Quakers in 1691 and approximately 60 burials took place in the square. There's a lot of burials for that small patch. And the last one in 1763. A peppercorn rent has been paid since 1694 to the rector by the Society of Friends every 3 years. A minimum of a farthing or similar is a tradition that is still upheld today. It's great what you find in these graveyards, isn't it? It is believed that the Reverend Killingbeck, who was rector of the parish when the Quakers were being persecuted, allowed them to be buried here as his daughter had married a Quaker. The rector retained the right to graze livestock on this area, paying a modest rent to the Quakers. So Quakers and the local community still hold a short meeting together in this church every 3 years when the dues of a few pence are exchanged and they enjoy tea and refreshments afterwards. The area is left to grow from the beginning of the year for wildlife and rare flowers until it's cut at the end of July. What a fantastic story. Sorry if you can hear kids in the background shouting. There's a school next door. What a beautiful little place. Oh no, I've never come across that. Just having to think. No, definitely not. Beautiful little graveyard. A beautiful little church. Oh, look at these big tombs. And see where they're like subsiding. I think because of the noise, guys, I think I'm going to end up doing a voiceover. I'm not even sure if you can hear me. This is beautiful. Okay, let's have a look at these tombs. Wow. Wonder if they're original ones from 1500s. They're really old. Rest in peace, George. St. Peter's Church sits at the end of a dead-end lane called Church Lane, west of the village centre, and it's surrounded by the fields and the countryside, and I think that really helps preserve its sense of calm, isolation and timelessness. It seems the church was built in brick because of a local shortage of building stone rather than luxury or fashion. That means the building reflects not just religious purpose but also something to do with the local geology, economy and resourcefulness at the time. The church was completely rebuilt in 1516 during a turbulent era between the Wars of the Roses and the Reformation, so it makes this church historically very unusual, as very few small rural churches in Sussex were wholly rebuilt in brick at that time. And St Peter's has been deemed a church of special interest, and it has a Grade 1 listing. The wooden porch is a very distinctive look. It's got a timber frame structure with brick infill housing the old doorway. The porch is probably 16th century, matching the main build, although some of the brickwork on the side differs on each side, so it may have been altered or rebuilt at some time. And I found this lovely propeller-like headstone or memorial. Really sad. Propeller cross from the grave of his son Eric Horace, who's buried in a military graveyard. And I found these stones as well that look really ancient. They may even predate the church. I could find absolutely no information online about these, which is really, really sad. If anyone does know anything about them, please do let me know. And this really old lock and ironwork. The font predates the current building. It's a plain octagonal bowl from the late 14th century, and there's evidence that there was a previous, likely a wooden church on the site before the 1516 rebuild. I mean, how lovely is that? Thank you so much to the St Peter's parish in Twineham. There's water, there's squash, tea, coffee, biscuits. I think that's wonderful. You don't really see that very often in churches. I think that's really beautiful. Very nice. Restores my faith in humanity. Old pictures. Let's move this for a minute. Wow, look at this. 1894. The rural dean, the archdeacon. The church, which, to be perfectly honest, it hasn't really changed that much. The old door. Oh, look at this. Let's move that out of the way. Love it. Put that back how we found it. I wonder if that was an old bolt or a door jamb that used to go across. There's the stairs up to the bell tower. Do not enter. It is forbidden. It's interesting that bit's cut out right by the font. Anyone know the reasoning behind that? And these aisle slabs, some of them are made of a fossil-rich winklestone, which is a type of Sussex marble from a band of outcrops that lies just south of Grattan Lane. So that means the stones under my feet here are literally ancient and local. There's some beautiful stained glass window memorials, and this plaque, which I believe is the same gentleman with the propeller wooden memorial that's in the porch. Some beautifully carved pews, and there's a big organ just there on the left, and this no doubt would have been the local lord's private pews, very intricately engraved. So I just found this rather beautiful wooden box. It's got like a little catch there to keep it closed. And then when I open it up, she says she's just looked again, like it's got all the cards. If I can get hold of one, it's got all the numbers for the hymns. And that's another first, never seen one of those before. Always amazing what I find. Just put that back where I found it. The altar rails are early 17th century, and I believe that's a Kemp stained glass window. The redos in its present form is 19th century, but it incorporates 14th century stuff from the Netherlands, and with panels and carved fragments of another uncertain date. And I could find no information on this chair either. There wasn't a whole lot of information online for this church, so I do apologise if I'm incorrect. While many medieval churches were expanded or altered over time, St Peter's remains externally and internally largely as it was in the early 16th century, with later but very modest restoration. And that makes it a rare snapshot of a Tudor era parish church design here in rural Sussex. Just found another interesting little grave, a little wooden one. Let me show you. You don't see that many wooden ones, and there's a little poem on there. A little while, a moment of rest upon the wind, and another woman shall bear me. And I've also just spotted a shovel. Maybe that's one of the grave diggers' shovels. Thank you so much for watching the video. It's really, really nice little place, wasn't it? And we always manage to find something interesting, don't we? If you did enjoy today's video, if you could please like and subscribe, I really would appreciate it, and hit the hype button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means an awful lot to my little channel. And down in the description, if you want to, you really don't have to, there's a link down in the bio to buy me a coffee if you want to support my channel, because I always make a contribution to these little churches and historic buildings, because I think it's so important that the history is kept. And obviously they're very expensive to upkeep, and they have dwindling people going to church nowadays, so I do my best to support them in the little way that I can. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you for the next one. Might be a hunt, might be a jaunt, who knows.